Emergency phone. Electric release. First aid suction drum. Look at somebody check it out.
You can never tell how people are going to respond to an actual emergency. There's always that element of tension and uncertainty. What we do in class and out in the fire training field lays a foundation that gives our people something solid to stand on. But people, like fires, are all different. There's a whole lot more to fighting fires than knowing the elements of the fire triangle or operating a portable fire extinguisher. When faced with a real-life fire emergency, you need to quickly appraise the situation and make an appropriate response. Now, at this point, you won't have time to consult a fire training manual. You should already know what you're supposed to do and be adequately prepared to do it.
To help prepare their employees for fire emergencies, companies develop emergency action and fire protection plans. These are master plans, which outline how a company intends to deal with a fire emergency. Included in the emergency action and fire protection plans are things like evacuation routes, personnel accounting, rescue and medical procedures, hazardous material listings, housekeeping standards, and fire control procedures. You need to be familiar with your company's emergency action and fire protection plans because they outline what you should do in the event of a fire emergency.
As stated in our company plans, you will not be required to be a part of an organized fire brigade. This means that you're not responsible for fighting large-scale fires, so we won't be training you on any heavy equipment. The large-scale fires will be fought by the fire brigade or the fire department, whose members have the equipment and the training to handle major fire emergencies. Nevertheless, you people have an important firefighting responsibility. We expect you to respond to fires in their early or incipient burning stage. This is a critical time period in which small fires must be extinguished before they spread. Now, fast action on your part can prevent a major fire. As far as equipment is concerned, you will be expected to operate portable fire extinguishers and small hose lines. Other duties will include the sounding of alarms, providing evacuation assistance, and actuating fire containment devices.
Even though I'm sort of an old hand around here, I come back once a year to the fire training classes. It's probably a good thing, too, because equipment and techniques change, and going to the fire training class helps keep me sharp. During the training session, we review the emergency actions and the fire protection plans. There's a lot of important information in those documents. I like going over the plans because it gives me a feel for how the whole operation works, in addition to outlining specific duties and responsibilities. And besides, the plans contain some good information on fire prevention. One section's on housekeeping procedures, and it covers things like keeping oily rags in metal containers. Another section includes a listing of the type and locations of hazardous materials throughout the whole plant. I like knowing exactly what's expected of me and what I can expect of other people. The fire protection and emergency action plans spell out all those details. Knowing we have all the bases covered, well, that makes me feel confident.
Emergency action and fire protection plans, two very important documents. Take the time to read them and familiarize yourself with your company's game plan. Your own duties may vary from sounding an alarm and evacuating to joining an organized fire brigade. The important thing is that you know what's expected of you and you're adequately prepared to do it. This is Henry Jacobs. He's the plant manager at the same company where John and Bob work. Henry has some pretty strong ideas about the value of planning ahead for fires.
As far as money is concerned, the best bargain we ever made was the dollars we put into our fire training program. We've seen a drastic reduction in the number of fire incidents, and those fires that have occurred have been extinguished quickly with very little loss of property. We may not be able to prove statistically that our training program is responsible for our good fire record, but it'd be hard to convince any of us around here otherwise. Fire prevention, of course, is the name of the game. We'd much rather prevent a fire than fight it. But if and when a fire does occur, we're certainly prepared to handle it. Our emergency action and fire protection plans are the hub of our entire fire prevention and firefighting program. We've developed a good system based on these plans. It hasn't been easy, and we've been through some trial and error periods. But now that everything is organized with the right equipment and the right people to operate it, there's no doubt it was well worth the effort.
Henry Jacobs, John Anderson, Bob Bennett, and Tom Edwards. They're all sold on pre-fire planning. It's easy to see why when you consider the damage that a major fire can do. We hope that this program will help you start planning ahead for fire emergencies. Planning ahead by learning about your company's potential fire hazards, firefighting equipment and fire protection systems, and emergency action and fire protection plans. When you get right down to it, there's just too much at stake not to do a thorough job of pre-fire planning.